This is Super Spy Hunter, a name that is immediately, completely, and 100% misleading. Because Super would imply that it's on the Super Nintendo, which it's not, it's on the original NES, and Spy Hunter would imply that it is, in fact, a Spy Hunter game, which it also isn't. And this is where things get a little bit confusing. See, back in the day, a company known as Sunsoft, made quite famously for its incredibly kick-ass, very rare, very expensive NES games that I would kill to get a copy of, cough, gimmick, cough, got permission from Bally Midway to produce an NES version of Spy Hunter, their classic arcade game. Roughly 5 years later, Sunsoft would go on to make a game called Battle Formula, and when they finally exported it out of Japan, they decided, hey, we produced the NES Spy Hunter, let's just call it the official sequel to Spy Hunter and call it Super Spy Hunter. But despite the fact that this game is in fact neither Super nor Spy Hunter, it is still better than the actual official sequel to Spy Hunter 2, which I'm pretty sure no one liked. Now the gameplay to Super Spy Hunter is very reminiscent of Spy Hunter. You drive a car down the highway shooting up foes that try and push you off the road. However, this game is far more complex in terms of obstacles, such as turrets lining the roads, helicopters, jumps, moving vehicles you need to use as platforms, and yes, in fact, even bosses. This game ain't your daddy's Spy Hunter. It is far more intense. Now the core concept is inherently the same. You drive your car down the highway trying to get past all the various checkpoints and beat the level. Simple enough on paper, but there's a little bit more in terms of complexity, both in terms of the obstacles, as already discussed, and your equipment. Your car, which is only sometimes a car, other times it's a Jeep, and sometimes a plane, depending on the level, has various upgrades including a turret, which has a dedicated button to rotate the turret and attack multiple enemies around you, as well as numerous power-ups, including quite possibly the most important one, an automatic targeting system, so you don't have to worry about that, because that turret is a little bit finicky. Beyond that, there are several other power-ups which you need to shoot, I assume to be enemy trucks to grab power-ups from, stuff like turning your turret into a shield, or splitting it out and making it fly all over the place, kinda like options out of Gradius or something. As well as just good old-fashioned health pickups, which you will need a lot of, because unlike Spy Hunter, while you don't die virtually instantaneously, you also don't have like 2 minutes of free time to kill yourself indefinitely before your lives actually start kicking in. No, this game likes to shove your face in the dirt and laugh at you. Let's just make this clear, so that there's absolutely 100% transparency here. This game, it ain't your friend. This game is not easy. Case in point for its difficulty, I've been playing this game on and off for about a week now, and have about 2 hours of footage just recorded for this review. I still haven't even seen the boss of level 2. Like, that's how hard this game is. I mean, let's just further put this into perspective for you. You know how some games have final bosses that might have a second form? Well, this game laughs at that idea and says, final bosses? Second forms? No. Every boss gets multiple forms. And 2 forms? No. 3 minimum. Case in point, the first boss has 3 forms as well as 3 mini-boss assistants, and once you get him down to the final form, he suddenly takes on all the powers of the mini-boss assistants to aid him. And that's not even including the fact he can one-shot you by shoving you into the walls. Yeah, this game, pretty challenging, but super satisfying when you actually manage to accomplish anything in it. Presentation-wise, this game is pretty good for its time. Of course, you've got multiple palettes for the various levels, as well as different player vehicle skins, which I was quite impressed upon learning once I finally managed to beat the first level. And visually, this game did something I didn't even think was possible by creating a curving road effect. Like, on the fly, that was neat. I didn't know you could do that on this hardware. I was impressed. Audio-wise, the game is relatively decent, and this game even seems to sneak in a highly remixed melody from the Peter Gunn theme, which was quite famously used in the original Spy Hunter game, which I thought was a really cool throwback, despite the fact that you kinda have to listen to hear it in there. And that, wrapped up in a very small package, is Super Spy Hunter. It's not an overly complex game, but it certainly ramps up what the original Spy Hunter tried to do. And it is a damn challenging game, and damn fun too if you enjoy challenges like I do. I definitely see myself playing this for quite a while, simply because it's fun. Now, if you want a copy, that's a little bit rough because it is a Sunsoft NES game, which means it costs a fortune. Although, as I understand, it was actually released on one of the Sunsoft Memorial PS1 discs, of course, in Japan, which I'm now learning also included Gimmick? Seriously? You get Gimmick? Badass! But on its own, Super Spy Hunter is an insanely challenging game and tons of fun. And while it might not actually be a Spy Hunter game, at its core, this game takes Spy Hunter, cranks it up to 11, rips off the dial, throws the dial into a trash compactor, sets the trash compactor on fire, and then drops a nuke on it. Yeah, it's kinda like that.